This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
And welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 253. We are recording on Wednesday, March 5th, 2014. Happy March! I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola.
What's going on, gang?
How are you?
It's been a tough emotional week for me, as we were talking before. And it's just kind of ironic that everything came down live on the show last week.
Yeah.
And it's just, everything just kind of spiraled from there. And it's like, wow, it's just crazy. Yeah, when you have a friend of yours that passes away, this is, I think I've been doing this league for 15 years, yay me. This is the first player, past or present, I'm aware of that has passed away. That has played in my league.
It has been a weird week for this kind of stuff because I was driving over to my parents' house and I go down this one road that on one side of it is like housing development and on the other side of this road is train tracks. And I go by there on Sunday night, ton of cop cars.
Oof.
So I'm like, something's going on. I have to check that out. And I get to my parents' house and of course chaos there. So I'm not paying attention to the news. It goes out of my mind. So then I go home. Next day I come down and there's a ton of news vans. Same spot. I'm like, God, there must have been something that happened there yesterday. I'm like, all right. So I'm going to have to check that out. Get to my parents' house. Forget it. Goes out of my mind. Coming on the third day, I come back and there's cop cars, news vans, and now there's like a pile of stuffed animals and flowers over by the train tracks. And it's like, oh, something happened. So finally, this time I remember, I look it up. It turns out 14-year-old girl that went to the junior high that I went to in my hometown, her and her boyfriend were hanging out near the railroad tracks, walking or sitting on the railroad tracks, just talking. And the train started to come. So they got off the railroad tracks and walked off the tracks, but she dropped her cell phone. And she went back to go get her cell phone. And think about, and this is like my public service announcements is in honor of her life and her death, is that when a train is coming, and especially if it's coming fairly quickly, this is like a main thoroughfare. When a train is moving, it creates this vacuum in front of it. So you look and you go, oh, that train's far enough away, I can get it and run back. Or I can go in front of it and run away and it'll be fine, or I can cross the tracks. This vacuum will suck you into the train, and it's bigger than you think it is. And that's what happened to her, is that she looked at the train, thought she could get her cell phone, ran out on the tracks to grab her cell phone. The vacuum grabbed her and just glued her to the spot.
Oh, man.
And my whole hometown is just flipping out because
I actually saw something about that on the news down here.
Yeah, no, it's all over. She was super popular, soccer player, honor roll student, good kid. Everybody knew her. And my hometown is a fairly close-knit community, kind of like yours, Goalie. Kind of everybody kind of knows everybody. If you don't know someone, you know someone who knows someone. And and the whole town is like all of my Facebook pictures of like my high school friends and people that I know from my hometown. They've all changed their Facebook pictures to just a pink square because that was their favorite color, was pink. And so it's like, wow, it's just been a weird week of bad things happening to good people. So if you're listening to the show, take care of yourself. You're a good person and don't let something bad happen to you. It would break our hearts. And our hearts are already broken pretty much.
Yeah.
We've had enough. No more of this shit, please.
I know.
One to a customer, all right? That's it. We're done. We don't need any more. Save it till next year. Just wait until 2015, please. Don't let the bad things happen.
I know. Tough week, exhaust. Well, the thing is, I'm the head of the league, so everybody's calling me.
Yeah.
It's just, the 20-minute phone calls I was having with so many people. It's been like a little part-time job here, which is fine because I probably needed it as much as everybody else. But
Right.
there was probably 20 or 30 or more of us that showed up at the funeral home last night. We all put our jerseys on over our shirts and walked in, and it was like, oh, here comes the hockey team. It was kind of funny, but the family was like, they said it was really awesome seeing everybody come in with the jerseys on.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nice little gesture that we did. So we did that. But unfortunately, this week's been so crazy. And then the good news was this weekend I actually did play-by-play for hockey in 2 different states. First time I've done that in a weekend. Kind of excited about that. I was in New Hampshire Saturday night, and then I was in New Haven, Connecticut, down at Yale University all day and all night Sunday. So
that is so foreign to people like me and Nick. Can you imagine that, Nick, going to 2 different states in one weekend to go do stuff?
Nope.
California's big enough that it's like you don't go to another state. I mean, maybe you'll go to Nevada, but you can't get from Nevada to New Mexico and do 2 things. Yeah, exactly. It's just God, your states are so fucking small.
Yeah, they are. Oh, compared to California and Texas, absolutely right. It is. I don't know what the mileage was. I know it's from my house to Salem, New Hampshire. It's like 45 minutes to get up there. Then going south to New Haven, Connecticut. That's more like 2.5 hours.
So 3 states. You did 3 states.
Well, I didn't do anything in Massachusetts per se.
But you started in Massachusetts, went to New Hampshire, and then down to Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that would, oh my God. You'd need to have planes involved with us. You couldn't just get in a car and do that.
Yeah. Well, again, I can drive to Philadelphia in 6 hours. So, I mean, I don't, if you drive 6 hours in California, you're probably
You get to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
San Francisco to Los Angeles is 6 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that just gives you an idea, but it's more of a just sounds real good type of thing, I was in 2 states this weekend doing play-by-play, but fun time, good time. Actually met some quasi hockey celebrities down in Yale, because everybody was there watching the prep school final. So and it's finally fun that I'm actually getting paid to do this now. It's like yay me,
yay you.
Cool.
So needless to say, I 2 15-hour days in a row, and I didn't get anything done on video games. And too bad, it's March now, and some things are coming out. And hey, okay, question for you guys here: being a PlayStation newbie, okay, I did. I have been keeping up on some of the messages or tweets or whatever. Now they said that Outlast. They said hurry up and grab Outlast because it's not going to be free for PSN members for long. Okay. Now, does that mean that when I go to play it, I'm going to have to buy it? Or because I got it when it was free, I could still use it for free? How does that work?
I am assuming, I know nothing either way, but I would assume that if you downloaded it before, you've got it. It's yours.
That's true for as long as you have PS Plus subscription.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay, I'm fine with it. But what I'm saying is it one of these things where it's like, okay, Outlast is free for the month of February, but on March 1st, if you go to play it, it's going to prompt you to buy it?
No, I think
no, not at all.
No.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. I've heard stories of people using the PSN like through the computer to download some of the free games to the PS3 just so they'll have them, and then but still like not turning on their PS3 for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
But they just kept downloading the games because they wanted to have them.
Right.
Because
they
didn't want to miss out.
I did some playing. It's been a weird, crazy week for me as well. But I got in on the Final Fantasy 14, I guess it is, the beta that they had up until a couple of days ago on PSN. I'm sorry, on PlayStation 4. so I played a ton of that. I almost actually leveled out of that because I guess you could only go up to level 20, and it was not the entire map, but it was a huge portion of it. The last night, in the last 2 hours of the beta, Creation Chaos and I just ran the whole thing. Even though we were too little to be really running through some of the places we just literally sprinted with things like hitting us and running and running and running, and then finding a safe spot and sitting and waiting for your health to come back up, and then running a little bit more and then standing and waiting for your health to come back up.
You just wanted to reach the edge of the world?
Wanted to reach the edge of the world. And we did. Well, we got to pretty close. There was a lot of stuff I didn't see because I ended up dying, and in order for me to run back there, it would have taken me forever. So it's like, fuck it. I only got 45 minutes left. So, but I played a lot of that, and it's good. It is an MMO. I could feel the World of Warcraft MMO addiction starting to creep back up. I could feel that kind of like when the drunk takes a drink after being dry for so many years. All of a sudden, you're like, I remember this. This feels good. It is surprisingly well done, considering that you're taking a game that is for the PC, a really, classic MMO, and putting it into a controller scheme. It is complicated. The controller scheme is very complicated. The game is very complicated, and it does it not too great a job of explaining the game itself. It definitely has a PC to console feel. That being said, I don't think it feels very gimped. And once you understand how to kind of navigate the controls, it actually becomes fairly easy to use. But it is a very steep learning curve, and there's no way you can get through that learning curve from the game itself. You kind of need to have somebody with you who has either played the PC version or really knows how to play the PlayStation 4 version, and has played it already before, so that they can kind of guide you through how to get to this, how to get to that. It's a little bit clunky in its navigation for some of the stuff, like emotes and getting into your hunter's log and getting into all of the other kind of ancillary stuff. But the combat itself is smooth. And there's parts of it very different from WoW. Parts of it I liked less than WoW. Like, one of the things I didn't like so much is that if you acquire or buy a piece of equipment, like say you buy a staff or a sword or a helm or something, once you've put it on and you kill something while wearing it, it is now bound to you. You cannot sell it back, or you can't give it to someone else.
Really?
Right. So you can't give your old equipment to somebody else who is like, it's like, oh, I'm going to get rid of this. Hey, anybody want this helm? There's none of this kind of trading between people.
But if you can't even sell it, that make money.
You can't sell it. No, you can't sell it.
What do you do with like all your excess shit?
You sell it for 1 gil, which is a gold.
Oh, so
but it's not a viable way to actually make money by finding equipment.
Oh, so
unless you
it's just
choose
like,
not to
I'm gonna
use
get
it.
rid of it.
Right. And if you find a piece of equipment that is something that you don't that your character won't use or isn't good for any of your characters, I don't even think you can switch between characters. So I guess you could if, like, say you and I were both on, I handed it to you, I logged off as character A, came back as character B, and then you gave it back to me. As long as you didn't put it on, it's fine.
And if you didn't put it on.
Right, and if I didn't put it on, it's fine. But there are, like, in each of the big cities, there's these market boards that you can post, and so it looks like a big billboard, and you can go up to that and see what's available, and people are selling stuff. And I guess there's a very, very robust crafting system. I did not get into crafting at all, because that's a whole nother rabbit hole that you'd have to go down of learning how to do something. But the combat is great, and it's fun, and I found myself happily enough sitting there and grinding out what they call fates. And fates are kind of like regular events that are multiplayer events that happen pretty all around the whole area. Like there's in any particular area, there's usually 2 or 3 fates that will pop up, and they're the same fates. A variation of 1 or 2 things that you have to do. And you'll see it on your map, and it'll be a big blue area. And if you enter that area, then it'll tell you fate has begun. And it's usually like either a mini boss that everybody has to kind of gang up on and kill, and people just kind of show up, and you get a ton of points for just showing up and killing these things. And it's a lot of fun.
That's such a Japanese thing. Fate has begun. You know you're playing an RPG when you read something like that.
Yep. And of course, picking your character. It's not like Diablo in the way that with Diablo, if you got you decided to be a caster, you could pretty much just play pretty loosey-goosey. You didn't have to worry about standing in the back. You didn't ever have to worry about really getting hit. You're a little bit gimped compared to, say, a tank. But if you didn't really play in that strict strategy of an MMO grouping based on your class and your abilities, you'd be fine, probably. And when you died, you could just warp back to whoever you were with. In an MMO, and in this one also, is a very typical way, if you're what they call a clothy, meaning you can wear cloth, meaning you're a mage or a magic user, don't get hit. You can't get hit. You maybe can take 1 hit, but if you do, you're 3/4 done. You have to stand in the back. You have to manage your mana. You have to manage your rage. If you pull the mob off of the tank, you're done for. So you have to really get good at being a caster. And same thing with a healer. You got to be really good at being a healer, because every time you throw a heal, it gets rage away from the tank. And you could easily pull a enemy off of the tank and onto you. And once that happens, you're out. You're done if he can't get it. So it's definitely a very skill based game. You cannot go in there just throwing punches and hoping you're going to get through stuff. You can at the lower levels, but once you get a certain level, like I'd say around level 5, you're going to have to really know how to play your character, or you're not going to have any fun.
Is that skill based or group based? Like you have to play with a group. You just have to do your role.
It's both. It's not just do your role, but know how to manage the pros and cons of everything you do. Know when to hit certain spells and or attacks in order to manage rage and manage either your mana or your physical stamina. And also, if you're going out there by yourself, knowing that if you're a caster, you've got to be at a distance. So you've got to use all of your skills to keep that thing from getting near you, whether it's to slow it down or to put it to sleep so that you can reposition yourself away from it. So, and then slow it down and then hit it while it's running at you, and then stop it, put it to sleep, then run to the other side and hit it until it comes and put it to sleep. You can't just walk in and just beat it up. Even the lower level creatures are fairly hard to kill. I mean, I would be at level, I think it was like at level 7 or 8 or 9, and I couldn't one hit a level 1 ladybug. So ladybugs, granted, when they hit you, they don't do much damage, but still, you've got to kind of know what you're doing. It's not just run in and beat things up and keep moving. But it is beautiful. I know that's kind of redundant. It's a Square Enix game, but still. It is gorgeous. God, it's big.
No, that's valid to say. I mean, I played a Square Enix game that was not particularly good looking.
Which one?
Thief.
Yeah, I did. I downloaded Thief. I actually pulled up the beta, the Final Fantasy beta, waiting for Thief to download. Then I never got to Thief.
You download the whole game, or did you just demo?
They downloaded the whole game. I bought the whole game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've got it sitting
wow.
there with a $60 game that I haven't even touched yet.
Wow.
Based on your recommendation, Nick, it better
What
be
do you
good.
mean my recommendation? I said it was good. I didn't say it was great.
Now you
But
tell me.
you always go out and like immediately buy the things that I'm not super hot on. That's a trend. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, this game is awful. You're like, okay, I'm never gonna play it. This game is good. Download it immediately. This game is great. Never play it.
Well, you know, I'm contrarian that way. Don't blame me. Just because I'm beautiful.
Thief has some good parts, though. So,
I'm liking Thief. It's a very, I like it. Once in a while, I like a nice stealthy game.
That's why I got it.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
what yes. A thief is just you kind of tiptoeing around, and you can really customize. If you go into the options, you can customize how you play, meaning that you can turn everything off. You can turn some things off. I mean, I have it set on the easy mode, so it shows you like everything you can do, but you can turn it off so that you got to actually physically know what drawers you can open and what candles you can turn out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you go into the options, it's like, you know, if you kill somebody, you fail the mission. If you knock somebody out, you fail the mission. So you can set all the little parameters to how you like to get through the mission.
That would be crazy if that little square button never came up.
Yeah.
Because some of those side quests are really hard to find. Like the thing you're supposed to steal with that square thing, and even with your focus that highlights all the interactive objects. Like even with that, some of those side missions are really tough.
Yeah, I haven't done too many of the side. I'm not that deep into it yet.
I really like the side missions. Those are kind of my favorite part of the game. I like stealing stuff. I don't so much like sneaking around the guards, but I love sneaking into people's homes and robbing them blind.
Of course you would.
Especially when they start adding in like traps. Then
I haven't got there yet.
It gets cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I've got to stop. I've got to look around. I've got to be careful. And of course, I made a few mistakes where I was just like, oh, I disabled one trap. La-di-da. Oops, there's another, and I'm dead.
The reason why I decided to pick up Thief is for exactly because you said it was kind of a stealth game. It seemed like something I'd really enjoy, especially because I really enjoyed the gameplay of Outlast once I got into the idea of stealth and sneaking around, and it's like tiptoe,
If that scared the crap
but it scares the crap out of you, and I hate that part.
Oh, there's one.
I wanted to play stealth without something going booga booga and trying to rip me in half.
There's one level in Thief that's my favorite level that is spooky as shit.
That's right. One level spooky, okay. It's
Well, I
whole
gotta
game
say that-
spooky.
It is kind of creepy though. Maybe because I come off of Outlast and went right into this. That I was in. There was a room like there was a guard sleeping, and then in the other room was a guard walking back and forth, and I did find myself breathing kind of heavy. I was like, oh no, just be quiet. So I was kind of spooking myself out as I tiptoed through the room so I didn't wake anybody up. So I was getting into it again like that. It was not nearly as the level as Outlast, but it was like, don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught. You know what I mean? And
I can handle with the don't get caught. It's the something's going to jump out at me and try and kill me. And I can't see.
You know what?
And there's things crawling, and there's spooky things going by that are making me go, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
You know what I want to see you play, Edie? I want to see you play this little indie horror game I've heard about. It's nothing but a dark stairwell. And all you do is just walk down the stairs. And randomly, there will be something that jumps out at you and kills you. And then you start over. But it's just
that's not a game.
You don't know when it's gonna come.
That is not a game. That's a haunted house. That's not a game.
This sounds so. I would love to see you play that. Just
No.
I know something's coming. Oh shit!
I know. I just wouldn't go down the stairs. See, that's the thing. That's why I liked Outlast, because it didn't insult my intelligence. If I know there's a dark stairway and I know that there's something in there that's going to jump out and kill me, I'm not going to go down the stairs. I'm happy right where I am. I will spend the entire game standing right here because this is the safe place.
Gonna make a camp.
Yeah.
Gonna roast some marshmallows.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely, man. I'll set up camp. I'll build a fire.
Yeah, that's
Install Wi-Fi. I'm happy.
That's what I do like about Thief is at least so far, because I'm not deep into it, but it's one of those games where you can actually sit there and you can really, like, there was one map, but like, this is so much like Dishonored. It's not even funny, by the way.
Right.
You know,
I know. Yeah.
there was one map that I was like, okay, I got to get into this house and do something. And I walked it's not linear. It's almost like a box. This level is like a box, so to speak. And so I walked around this box. I was on the left side, then I was on the right side, then I was above, then I was down below. So I found the hidden path. So I went around this whole box, which is where your area you were in, and I could just take my time and I could like size it up and feel it out. I was like, okay, so I just did a complete circle. And I haven't alerted anybody, and so you can kind of take your time, which is really fun. It's not like, you get 30 seconds to get in there, and it's like, yeah. So I was taking my time. I was hiding in the shadows. I would dart across, you know what I mean? And then I would get down the alley, and I would climb up on top and say, okay, this and that and the other thing. But it was really great that you could like watch the gods, watch their movement, try to time it out. I mean, that's the whole thing you do with these stealth games, is timing out when to jump in or when to tackle somebody. And so it was, I really like that. I don't like being rushed sometimes. Sometimes I really like to think it through and, okay, sit here for a minute and figure something out, without a timer. So, yeah, it's pretty fun.
My cat has decided to go off.
Battlefield has some new maps that come out. I dabbled in one for a few minutes, a little over a week ago, I think, before all this stuff started. And I only played for a few minutes. I was going into Battlefield just to get my battle packs open, because you get one a day if you're a Plus member, if you signed in. And I did pretty well. I probably got 20 or 22 out of the 28. I managed to sign in and just – I would put the disc in, get my battle pack, exit the game, exit the disc, and then I'd put in, Tomb Raider. And I did that like every day for a while. I'd be like, okay – eject Tomb Raider, put in Battlefield, log in, get my battle pack, log out, eject the disc. It was funny. But I did play some of the new maps briefly. I want to get into them a little bit more. I just wasn't in a Battlefield mood. I was in a Tomb Raider mood, And then this segued into this Thief was really kind of good. And I think I did mention last week that I popped in Far Cry 3 on my Xbox 360.
Right, you did.
Yeah, and I've been liberating some outposts there, and that is just a blast. Doing that, it's really funny. Remember in that game when they would come over the hill and they would throw something at you, or you throw a grenade, it would catch the hill on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, shit! Everybody's burning up. It was pretty funny. So I went play a little bit of that. That's just so fun. Far Cry 3, just open sandbox and just liberating things and all that. That was just good times.
Yeah, Nick, you hit anything this week?
Yeah. What's her name, bitch? Yeah, who'd you tap?
I think I made it.
I just see the Thursday Nick tweet this week.
What?
Yeah, somebody was posting how. I love women that have blue eyes. And Thursday Nick tweets back, all my women have black and blue eyes. All my bitches.
Thursday Nick is such an asshole.
Is that guy?
I can't believe that joke has been going on for what? Almost better than a year now.
Oh,
yeah.
Longer than that.
Yeah, actually, it's a good question.
It's gonna be.
That means that we can't ever record this on a Thursday again.
Why?
We can record on Fridays.
Why can't we record on Thursday?
We can't, because then I'll have to be Thursday Nick, and I'll just be an asshole.
That's all right. You know what? A little Thursday Nick in everyone's life reminds you of how great your life is.
Exactly.
Yeah, but every week.
No, not every week. Not every week. We could never do every week. I don't think
There
you could
go,
keep that
there you
up.
go. We can't consistently record on Thursday.
So, but what did you play?
Anyways.
And what did Wednesday Nick play?
I played Emblem Awakening, and I think I've made a mistake putting that game on the hard mode, where when one of your characters dies, they die for good. I spent one
I can see
whole
that.
night playing the same mission over and over again because characters kept dying, and I kept turning off the game and restarting it and loading a save and dying again. And I just kept doing that over and over again. And the worst part is that it was an optional mission. It wasn't a story mission.
Oh, it's
so I
just
didn't
one of those random battles?
Yeah, but it got to the point where I was like, I am going to beat this fucking mission. I will not let you beat me, game. I will overcome you. And then eventually I thought, okay, I need to level up my character some more before tackling this again. So I went to do another optional mission. Lost that like 3 times in a row. But then I beat that one. And then I quit for the night.
Right.
So I still haven't finished that original optional mission that was so kicking my ass.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I've lost so many of my characters. I am so glad I did not play it at that level because it would have taken me forever to get through this game. And it's a fairly large game.
I know. And you know what? Now I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, shit. Do I start over on the other mode, or do I try to push through on the hard mode?
What part of the story are you at?
I think I'm at chapter 8.
Chapter 8?
Yeah.
Start over.
How many chapters are there?
I'm up to like chapter 12, I think, or 13.
Does it feel
You're
like
still
it gets
you're still
into it?
doing Crumb is fighting the king, the mad king with the his booby princess friend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you end up beating him. That's halfway through the game.
Oh.
It's a long
Okay,
game.
and I assume it'll only get harder from here.
Yes.
But then I have to start all those relationships over again.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh.
Here's something I did not
maybe-
realize when you said about relationships. Is these relationships, I didn't realize when you said that they meant literally love relationships. You can't put 2 guys together and have them.
You can. I mean, 2 guys can forge a strong bond, but I don't think any same-sex couple can get to level S. which
Right.
is like
I
genuine
put
love.
2 guys together. I had them playing forever and could never get them to actually like each other. And I put a
known
guy and a
that
girl together and I could never get them to like each other
I
either.
think some people just can't have a relationship with each other.
Okay, and that they
And I
don't make
wasn't-
that clear, which sucks
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
sitting there playing Frederick and Stahl with each other, and Stahl is leveling up, and Frederick is kicking ass, and they're awesome. And it's like I'd really like to
'Cause I've-
separate. No, I
I've
could never
got
get them to like each other.
To a level C. They're buddies.
No, they're not buddies. They never got to buddies, so I ended
Yeah,
up switching
it's
him
that
out.
Too. Like there are some times when, people will be sitting next to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them will get attacked or something, but they won't go up in relationship.
Right.
I'm not sure what determines that.
Now, keep this in mind: is you do get additional characters farther on. You will get several more characters between now and where you are at with me.
I've
Where
looked
I
at
am.
the list. Like if you look at Chrome and like you go to Speak, like the Speak menu, and you scroll down, you can see all the potential characters he can have a relationship with, and there's a whole bunch that are just.
Oh, I did not know that because that was been my frustration is because it's almost trial and error of trying to develop a relationship. You put someone with somebody and it's just not working. It's like, well, fuck, if I'd have known, I wouldn't have put him with that and wasted all that time.
Oh yeah. If you go to the Speak menu and you select a character, you know how it like has his name at the top and then all the people.
Right.
If you just scroll down and see all the people they can talk with, and I have noticed that some lists are longer than others. So some characters can't have relationships with others.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that answers that
Okay,
question.
let me.
where that's
Oh
found.
my good God!
What?
Oh my good God!
What?
I just went to the Fire Emblem Wikipedia to see how many chapters there are.
How many?
25 chapters.
25 chapters? Wow.
Then 23 paralogs,
Yep.
which are like the side things, and then 25 xenologues, which I have no idea what those are, but either way, this is a big fucking
It's a
game.
big fucking game. You're better off starting over. You're better off starting over.
Yeah, if I'm having that much trouble on chapter 8,
Yep.
oh god, I hate to think what chapter
Yeah, I've
25
leveled out 2 of my characters already up to level 20.
Jesus, wait, how far are you? You on 12?
Let me see. Hold on a second. Keep talking. I'm going to go get my DS.
Okay. Yeah, wow, all of a sudden I have no idea what to talk about. Actually, I will. There was a sale on iPhone game. Ended up buying a couple of those that ended up being real good. There's this one called Duet, which is this kind of neat puzzle. I don't know if it's a puzzle game. It's like a Twitch-based dodging game. You play as these two circles, or these two dots on a circle that are kind of locked in a circle, and you've got these obstacles coming toward you, and you have to push on either side of the iPhone screen to turn the circle, and as you turn, the little dots move, and you have to do that to dodge these obstacles. But it's all very... It gets you thinking circularly, so that as something comes towards you, you have to twist the circle in one way, but then something will be coming that will hit another dot, and you have to twist the circle in the other way. It's quite good. But I think the favorite game I got on that little sale is this game called Badland, which is like Limbo if Limbo was really cute. I get you play as this really weird little creature. It's almost like a hedgehog, but it can fly. It's got wings. And you just tap the screen to kind of make it jump, kind of like Jetpack Joyride type of gameplay. But the whole thing is built around just you get to the end of the level. And sometimes you get power-ups that make your little flying hedgehog bigger. Sometimes you get power-ups that make them smaller. Then sometimes you get power-ups that, multiply them. And sometimes that's necessary because you get into, these weird obstacle courses where, suddenly the level splits into 3 paths. And 2 of the paths will kill everyone on it, and one of the paths is the correct path. So you kind of have to get those power-ups to make your guy multiply, so you're controlling 20 little flying hedgehogs on the screen at once, and then just throw them all into the grinder and hope that one of them comes out alive. And it's not particularly difficult, but it's just kind of fun and dumb, and it looks so cool because it's just the style of it. It's like Limbo, where everything is kind of in silhouette, and you've got this real full background that's just real pretty. I'm impressed. For an iPhone game, especially, I would love to play this on a bigger screen because it just looks real good.
Yeah, there are some games on the iPhone that, boy, this would be great to play on a big screen.
Yeah. I almost want an iPad just because some of the games seem to require that, like Infinity Blade. I would love to play on iPad, but I play that on iPhone.
To answer your question, I am about to start level 12.
Okay. Wow, I'm surprised. Characters hit the max that quickly.
Well, yeah, it depends on how you play them.
That's true.
And if you play them constantly, in the beginning of the game, there was a couple of people I played constantly. They're awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm going to have to start over on that, though. But I'm still really enjoying that, and I want to play some more. But the game I haven't played, but I'm really excited for, is that South Park: The Stick of Truth finally came out.
Yes.
Oh, is that off of PS4?
No, it's only Xbox, PS3 or 360, PS3, and PC.
Like, wow, Nick, your internet connection is so shitty right now. I mean, it's been shitty the last couple of weeks, but it's really shitty now. You're cutting out all the time. Your internet provider sucks.
Yeah, Comcast. Hey, they're going to be like half the country's internet provider.
I know. But you're like, no, everything. It's every time. So it's coming out for what? PC, 360, and?
PS3.
But PS3, but not PS4. Okay. Yeah, in fact, it's got censored. Parts of it are censored in Europe, which is hilarious. There's particular scenes that when you play it, when it gets to the part that UK and Europe, EU wanted it to be censored, the screen turns to a picture of Rodin's. I think it's Rodin. No, Michelangelo's David, or either that or it's Rodin's Thinker. I can't think of what it is, but it's a statue kind of standing there, and it says censored. If they're gonna censor it, which I think is awesome, because if somebody's gonna censor it, they're not gonna pretend that somebody didn't censor this. They're gonna be like, "Fuck you! We're just gonna stick in a blank static screen here and say censored." So you know what you're missing.
I have no context for what got censored. I just know that the scenes that got censored are like the abortion clinic and the anal probe scene.
Yeah, anal probe scene in the abortion clinic.
And I love that that's the description, because I don't know what exactly happens
or how it fits into the story.
Yep.
Yeah, Stick of Truth is getting a lot of mainstream news attention as well.
And I've watched so many videos of it, and it looks like South Park. Like everything about it just looks like you're playing the show. Like I figure out when a cutscene begins and ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Simpsons had a good game. I think it was for 360. Mm-hmm. And you could drive around. I mean, there was things you had to do in the game, but you could actually drive around this town of Springfield. And it was semi-open world, but it was just kind of fun, like being in that world that you've watched on TV for so much time. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, with South Park, I mean, I think they even said too, what was it back like 37 E3s ago when they announced this game, that they said that we didn't have a map of the town because they would always just cut to somebody's house, you know. So they actually, when they put this game together, they actually had to sit down and say, okay, where is everybody's house going to be? Where is the school going to be in relationship? You know, because they never had to.
Yeah.
With the cartoon, it's just like, okay, they're at Kenny's house or they're at Cartman's house, but they never really showed them walk from one place to another. So you don't know who's living near who or where they are, and they actually had to sit down and do all that and create the actual town for this game, which could be really fun because now we can actually play in it.
Yeah. So, have you played anything else before we hit the news?
I played a little bit of Rayman Legends on PS4 for review.
Yeah,
and that's from what I played, it's a really good platformer. It's a real hardcore platformer. Mm-hmm. But it has the single greatest use of the PS4 touchpad that I've seen so far.
Really? What does it do?
So if you get enough, essentially collectible coins, think of them that way, of a level, you earn a scratcher ticket. And you actually rub the touchpad as if it were a scratcher ticket.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I know. It's so much fun. I love it. It's just so fun.
I could pick some other uses for the touchpad, but it's all right. I mean,
he did say so far. He did say so far.
Exactly. The best so far. It's better than in Thief. Like in Thief, you can use it to select things, and it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming the default where you go for your map now.
Yeah, the Thief is kind of weird because you got to kind of hold it just right until it comes.
Yeah.
I kind of don't care for it, but whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering.
At least Thief isn't a fast-paced game.
I'm kind of wondering where Mass Effect might go with the touchpad with relationships. You know what I mean? Just.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're thinking.
We're picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah. Literally.
Lay it down. Oh, man. Really.
All right, so let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds News, the news, views, and commentary of the world in gaming with Gamer Edie, Holy Goalie, and Nick D. Nicola. And our first item is...
Can I just take a sidebar real quick?
Okay, sidebar.
Piece of news.
Yeah.
Did you see the story about this 18-year-old girl, I think in New Jersey, that's suing her parents?
I was literally just, while you guys were talking, because I regularly will read something while you're talking, and because that's what I do, I multitask, and I was just reading about that, and about how the judge turned her down.
Yeah, that is fine, because it's like, here's a snot-nosed, rich 18-year-old kid that obviously got going to some ritzy school in New Jersey, and... Oh, my parents threw me out, and the parents said, well, you didn't obey by our rules.
No,
so.
their parents said, we didn't throw you out. You left because you didn't want to obey. You didn't want to do household chores and have a curfew.
Yeah, so she's 18 years old, and she's like, okay, well, I'm out of the house because you threw me out. You got to take care of me, so I want $650 a week, and I want you to pay for my entire college.
Right.
It's like, is this where we are now? The entitlement of this country with kids now is that if they don't get their way, they now
something tells me there's more to this story than what is being reported.
That's just stupid rich kids.
Yeah, I don't know, but you got to get, in order to get, she is being represented by a lawyer, which means there is a lawyer there somewhere that says there's grounds for this. Granted, not a good enough grounds that she couldn't get through the original. I mean, the judge immediately threw it out. But yeah,
I think lawyer would take on any case they think is any possible, because they're going to get paid either way, right?
Yeah, they get paid either way. That's true, but still, a lawyer is not going to be taking a case when he thinks it's going to lose. A, because it's bad for his reputation, but B, if you can't get blood out of a stone. If you don't get a judgment, then you don't get the money. Chances are you're not going to get, if a kid is suing for money, if an 18-year-old girl is suing for money because she's got no money to go to college, chances are you're never going to get your money for the lawyer's fees from her ever, because she's just not going to have the money.
Somebody saw her rich parents and thought, okay, there's a good payday potential.
Yeah, well, part of the settlement was the parents would have to pay for her legal fees.
Right, yeah. No, she did sue for the legal fees. And that's still open. But, okay, so the story is that this is a girl, her name is Rachel Canning. She is out of New Jersey. She went to a private Catholic school. And when she's turning 18, her parents wanted her to do her chores, because this is according to reports. Granted, like I said, I think there's more to this story than meets the eye. But she didn't want to do chores, didn't want to do a curfew. She moved out, and she moved into with a friend, a family of a friend. And she now is heading to school. First, she's got the tuition of the Catholic school, which her parents were like, well, fuck, if you're going to move out, we're not going to pay for your high school education. We're not going to pay for you to go to private school if you're going to decide that you move out. So they stopped paying the school. So she's on the hook for like $6,000 for the tuition for the high school. And then she wants to go to college, and she said, and you should be paying for my college as well. Now, according to from some reports that I've read, she asserts that her parents were abusive to her, and she moved out of an abusive relationship. And the parents are like, we don't want to abuse you. You've got no proof of that. Well, the judge threw it out, I think, yesterday. But she said that she left home because of psychological mistreatment by her parents. But her parents are saying, we're heartbroken that she left home. But if she moves out, we're certainly not. If she wants to live here, we'll pay for things, but she's got to live by our rules. And of course, the judge was like, yeah, we're not getting into this. I'm going to chuck this case. This is so not a case I'm going to get involved with.
I'm glad, though, because there's too much of this crap out there. And, we get, out here many years ago, probably 5-6 years ago, there was these kids and they didn't want to go to school, and their parents like dragged them out of bed, and they called the cops for parental abuse. And it's like, and that's just where we are nowadays. It's like, so the parents like, I dragged him out of bed. If you want to throw me in jail, throw me in jail. But I dragged him out of bed because he wouldn't go to school, All right. And then there was the kids that are like, oh, we're mad, so we're going to protest. We're not coming to school tomorrow because we're protesting, right? And so the radio station actually called up one of the houses and got the parent on the phone. So are you standing by your son? Yeah, I'm standing by my son. I'm proud of him sticking up for this cause. And okay, so it's 10 in the morning, right? Yes, it is, and I'm proud of my son. He didn't go to school because he's making a stand. Where's your son right now? Well, he's sleeping. So he's still in bed. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. He didn't go to school. He's still in bed, but you're so proud that he's standing up for something. You want a friggin' day off, you idiot?
Parents, so gullible. What nincompoops? What tararagundies?
Yeah, it's just great. So I'm glad this just went down because it's got to stop somewhere. Yeah, it's time to grow up. Put on the big boy pants. And you want to move out because you don't want to do what they say. Then something. Then you pay your own way. Yeah. That's what my parents told me.
Yep.
Oh, yep. There you go. See you later. Yep. Take the clothes on your back. Goodbye.
Yep. All right. So more onto video games. Let's see.
Wait, I have a slightly similar story.
Okay.
It is game related.
All right.
And it's not quite as dumb.
All right.
It's dumb on the other side.
Okay. All right.
So apparently these kids ended up getting the neighbors evacuated at 3 a.m. because they had created a fake bomb and accidentally left it on outside in their yard. And the neighbors thought it was a real bomb and called the police, and the bomb squad came in. And what it ended up being is that the kids were playing real life Call of Duty. So they created a fake bomb prop to use, and they accidentally left it in the yard. And it freaked the fuck out of their neighbors.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Although, if I was a neighbor and I saw that, I probably would say something too. It's chances are it's fake, but what if it's not? I'm not gonna go check it out.
Yeah, I'm not touching it. You touch it.
You go first,
Nick.
Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
He's the bomb disposal host. That's what I am.
Yes.
If we ever get a bomb threat, I'm the one that has to investigate.
We're not going to send you. We'll send Thursday Nick. He deserves it.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to stick your arm into the tree to see if it gets bit. A little flash going.
All right. Since we're doing stupid teenager shit, I might as well throw mine in there. Okay, so there was this girl. She's down in Florida. And her father was, I guess, a principal or a teacher at this private school, and he got fired. And he was fairly old. He was in his 70s. So he sued the school for age discrimination. It was a fairly big case, and it got settled. And is in the nature, and I think it was settled for $80,000 in back pay. Well, one of the natures of settlements is that frequently there is a non-disclosure clause. And there was a non-disclosure clause in this particular settlement. And they came home and they were like, yeah, okay, we're settled. And the teenage girl, actually, I think she's not a teenager. She might be in her 20s, but she's in college. She posted to a Facebook about a big picture about how, yay, I'm going to get to go to Europe because whatchamacallit settled. You guys can all suck it.
Yeah, you're paying my European vacation.
Right. Johnson School settled, and we got she didn't say $80,000, but Johnsonville settled, and I'm getting to go to Europe. You all suck it. And that was the thing. It was the big thing. Suck it. Well, of course, all of her friends on her Facebook page all are people that know this school. So, of course, it was disclosed to everybody, the school, that there was a settlement, which violated the non-disclosure clause. The school went back to the judge. The judge said, hey, you're right. You did disclose it. $80,000, whoop, gone. Took away $80,000 from her parents because the kid couldn't keep her freaking mouth shut on social media.
That's awesome. It is.
So I guess she's not going to Europe. Wah, wah. Suck it.
That's true. Suck.
But we do have this canned squid for you.
Lovely parting gift. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat. Your supply.
That is so. It's kind of like justice. It's like, people just shut up.
Shut up on the social media. Just shut the fuck up.
Just don't get on there and start this suck it. I won. F you. It's like, just
don't even say anything. Social media is not your friend, my friend. It is not.
No.
We are.
Use it
It is not.
smartly.
Yes.
Use it smartly. It's all I got to say.
Sparingly.
So, anyway, all right. So, back
That's
to
all I got
games.
say.
Can we talk about some games now, please? Okay, the writer of the Uncharted series, Amy Hennig, she's been with Naughty Dog for years, like almost a decade, I want to say. Maybe more. She left Naughty Dog yesterday. And it was reported in IGN, and Sony did confirm that she no longer works for Naughty Dog. Hennig was the creative director for the Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. All fabulous games. And then she also wrote the script for all of those, which the scripts for those games were great. But anyway, we all thought it was assumed that she would be writing for the next Uncharted game, which ostensibly would come to the PS4. So, of course, there was no ever any question that she would not be on the Uncharted series. That was her baby. And she, in many ways, was a major contributor to the success of these games. But neither Naughty Dog or Hennig have commented on why she left or why she was made to leave. We don't even know that. But IGN sources do claim that she'd been there for more than 10 years and that she was, quote unquote, forced out by Last of Us directors Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley. And those two guys may actually take over the Uncharted series. So there's some kind of intrigue going on in the Naughty Dog studios, but nobody knows what's going on right now. But the bottom line is that the writer of the former Uncharted series is not going to be part of the next one.
Yeah, and I saw Sony said something like, this will not impact development of Uncharted. And it's like,
yes, it will.
It totally will.
It will. It's a freaking writer. It's not just a writer, the writer, the creative director that made Uncharted. Yeah, it's going to affect shit.
That makes me really hesitant about Uncharted 4.
Well, but then again, these two guys that are picking it up, they've got a lot to prove.
Yeah, I mean, they proved with Last of Us that they can do real good stories. But, Uncharted had a real great sense of adventure. And Uncharted 3 was a real come down from Uncharted 2.
Yeah. And so. Nathan Drake and all of the characters within that series are very definitive people. And they had a specific voice. And as a writer, you think that you can write and kind of keep that continuity of that character, but the only way that you can be a really good dialogue writer is to truly have those people in your head. They are living creatures in your head. And whatever living creatures are in the two new guys' head are going to be different than the Nathan Drake in her head. By the nature of imagination. So the new next Nathan Drake, they're going to have a challenge, I think, trying to make sure that Nathan stays true to Nathan and that everybody else stays true to everybody else, all the different characters. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be more details coming out of what exactly happened, and I'm sure she's not going to be out of work for long. She's way too good. Way too good.
Either way, though, that's a sad loss.
It is a sad loss. So you got anything? I know Gully doesn't because he's been way too busy. So,
Twitch. Twitch has an app on mobile devices, but so far all you can do is watch streams.
Right.
Although I keep getting notices whenever you or Goalie stream. And I keep trying to watch it, but it never seems to load, even when I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's not the most stable of apps. I will say that.
But Twitch is looking to start allowing you to broadcast mobile games.
Yep.
Which would be interesting, as if they weren't taking on enough.
Yeah, I would rather them fix their issues because even whether it's the iPad app works great, or even computers. Or whether you're on the PS4 and you go into the TV section and you try to watch some Twitch streaming, it is usually pretty bad. I mean, not only the quality, but just how many times it stops and buffers, and it's not often you get a really good stream and can run it for more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time without issues. And I know when I stream, I'm always getting people saying, "Oh, it's choppy, it's cutting out, it's buffering," and there's nothing I can do or anybody can do about it. So I'd like them to see them try to fix that before they tack on more streaming options.
Agreed. And it's also going to get worse for Twitch because starting, I guess it's next week on the 11th, that Twitch is coming, the streaming is coming to the Xbox One. And it's going to actually have a higher resolution than the PlayStation 4's streaming. In fact, we got a message on the or from Facebook that was asking us, do you think this is going to affect the sales of Xbox One? No, probably not. It's probably going to help. It'll help them, but it's not going to. I'm not going to see it. Nobody's going to go, oh, well, now I'm going to buy an Xbox One.
I think the price cut that Xbox One's trying to do might help.
It might help that. That's going to help.
You know, and the idea that they might send someone over to give you some fellatio might help you buy an Xbox. You know.
And then I guess that there's going to be an update on the Xbox One tonight, starting tonight. That's going to have enhancements to the controllers, the console's multiplayer suite, audio output, and the live streaming capabilities. Live streaming obviously is going to be the Twitch update. And so you're going to be able to highlight your online friends faster than you can now, which I guess is an issue. And it will let you invite them to parties quicker, which is, I guess, an issue. And it's also an issue with PlayStation 4. I wish that the PlayStation 4 was slightly better than that. And it's going to, of course, lay down the software groundwork for getting the Twitch thing going on the 11th. I'm interested to see what the Twitch is like. And here is one advantage that I am craving for the PlayStation 4 that the Xbox One's going to have when it launches with Twitch is it's going to have the live stream archiving. Because when we do a live stream, it doesn't save the live stream, which I don't know why that happens. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but you can't archive your live stream. So if you're not watching the live stream when you're watching it, then it's gone. That actually using the PlayStation 4 to live stream is not creating content on your Twitch page, even if you play for Twitch Premium service. Now, I thought, well, clearly they don't want you to do it for free, but if you pay for the service, you'll have it, right? No, I paid for the service, and it still doesn't archive, which I think is just absolutely annoying. It's wrong. It's wrong-headed. So
I read, or maybe heard on a podcast somewhere, someone, I think it might have been Giant Bomb, speculating why that was. I forget what they said, but they had like a real good idea, and I think that they were suggesting that it was Twitch's. Oh no, I think they said that was Sony's idea, not Twitch's.
Yes, I know. That's what makes me want to punch Sony. It's like, why wouldn't we want to have content? Be a content creator. That's the whole point, is that we are creating content. If you're not streaming, if your streams are not being archived, you're not creating content. You're just creating a destination, but only for the period of time that you're actually playing, which isn't, unless you're, there all the time, isn't that much.
Maybe they want to avoid having like the
copyright
PS camera porn be permanent.
Possibly. Well, no, because if it's camera porn, they'll just take it down.
Yeah,
in general,
I don't know why you can't just delete that.
Yeah, I mean, if YouTube doesn't have a lot of porn on it, then there's ways around it. Clearly, there's ways to kind of curate the archive so that you don't have that stuff up there.
I'm sure there's some porn on YouTube under the name like Happy Kindergartners Playing in the Yard, Funny cat video number.
But as soon as somebody finds out it's porn, people flag it. The community is very good at policing itself. If something's bad, they flag it, and the only thing you have to have is people that are looking at the flags. That's the only thing you need to install. You don't actually have to have somebody going in there and looking at all that stuff. You just wait for the flags to come in, you look at it, and you know, bam, right away, take it down. It's pretty cut and dry.
Just throwing this out there, do you think in a hypothetical world that if they had some hot chick come to your house and have sex with you, if you bought a video game system, how much would sales go up? I'm serious.
Amongst males.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. No. I'm serious
amongst guys, amongst young guys.
$500 system. Okay. So obviously, if you're some 14-year-old kid with no money, no matter what happens, you can't buy this. But if there's we're gonna if you buy I'm not gonna say what system you buy. X systems that
the XS4.
If you buy a system A, okay, for $500, we will have some hot chick come to your house and deliver it, and she will have sex with you. I wonder how much sales would go up. Who would spend $500? Would that put it over the edge?
Sure, for young single guys, and maybe even some married women wouldn't buy it.
Expand on that.
Women wouldn't buy it. We're not.
No, they would buy it, and then the wife comes in and says, "Wait, is that an Xbox?"
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Is that a System A?
Is this a lay station?
A lay station, right? Is this a lay station? She'll know. She'll know that you got that. What happened?
No, it's not a lay station. It's not. I bought it used.
Oh, what is she doing with your Wii?
I bought it used. It's a rental.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't they all?
This is my double DS.
It's not what it looks like.
Hang on, I'm almost done downloading. Hang on.
All right, classified. Oh, Gully, you'll appreciate this one.
I will.
Classified documents published by The Guardian in the UK, the newspaper, reveal that the British surveillance agency GCHQ surreptitiously gathered webcam images from more than 1 million Yahoo user accounts while also evaluating the surveillance potential of the Xbox 360's Kinect peripheral. Quote, in one 6-month period in 2008 alone, the agency collected webcam imagery, including substantial quantities of sexually explicit communications, from more than 1.8 million Yahoo users' accounts globally, The Guardian reports, before noting that this operation, codenamed Optic Nerve, was only one of the agency's attempts at biometric recognition via consumer camera technology. And I don't know if you know what biometric recognition is. It's facial recognition software. That it'll see your face and go, oh, it's you, and then be able to pull up all of the information about you. Like, ooh, there's your criminal records. Ooh, there's all your financial records. Ooh, what is he doing? Where's he from? What organizations is that person?
Isn't biometrics also like looking at how flushed your face is to determine, like,
right?
Oh, your heart's beating this fast.
Right.
That's
yes, all of that as well. Well, that wasn't on the 360. The biometric technology on the Xbox One does that, but the 360 didn't. Anyway, a separate GCHQ project explored the possibility of gathering images from the Kinect peripheral. Quote, one presentation discusses with interest the potential and capabilities of the Xbox 360's Kinect camera, saying it generated, quote, fairly normal webcam traffic, unquote, and was being evaluated as part of a wider program. It's unclear if the GCHQ ever attempted to intercept Kinect data on a large scale, but as The Guardian points out, the idea isn't entirely novel. Earlier documents published by the paper detail similar exploratory efforts by the American NSA. And I believe this is all stuff that's coming out of Edward Snowden's files.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Everything you thought about the Kinect, all those like tin hats conspiracy theories that I may or may not have accused you of, Goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right. You were right.
Okay, thank you. Yay me.
Yay you.
What's also interesting about that is that Microsoft might not even have any knowledge of it.
Yeah.
That it's just
it's
the government
intercepted,
creating some tool to collect that data over the internet.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I don't blame Microsoft for it at all, but it's essentially putting a camera in your home where that information could be intercepted.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's interesting that Microsoft can say, no, we won't do this, and you can't do this. Like, we would never do this, and they're being completely honest.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that someone else can't.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right. This is not a Microsoft thing. It's just when you willingly put a camera or a microphone, anything, and then you connect it to the internet and turn it on, that's just, there you go.
Yep.
So that gets to something I've always wondered about. Like, so PS4 has an internet browser, right?
Right.
And so does PS3 and Xbox and Xbox One. What happens if you get a virus? Like, what happens if you just knowingly go to a real bad website that should normally infect a computer and get a virus? Like, what does that do to the console?
Well, I would imagine that knowing very little about, I know kind of sort of how viruses work, but it would be probably very hard to get a virus that would actually affect your console because viruses are very specific to the specific platforms you're using. A PC virus will not infect a Mac computer. That's one of the reasons why for many years when everybody would say, I'm always getting these viruses, what should I do? Everybody'd say, get a Mac. Because there were so few Macs and so many PCs that it really wasn't worth any, I'm just talking about comparison, there's way more PCs than there are Macs. They're not really worth the hackers' time to write a virus for Macs. Because why would you write a virus for 10% of the computing population when if you wrote a virus for 90%, you'd probably get a whole lot more action out of it? And it was also a little bit easier to write viruses for PCs. So that's why you never really saw that many viruses for Macs. Now that's kind of changing. It's still nowhere near the amount of Mac viruses as there are PC viruses. But if you got a PC virus or a PC virus was on a website or somewhere you went or you downloaded it to your Xbox, I would think that the platform is so different and the software architecture is so different on a console that it wouldn't infect your console, that you'd have to write a console-specific virus, which is not honestly a bad idea. Because your console is going to have... Not all PCs have financial data on it. Not all PCs have information that's going to result in you having some kind of monetary value. But your console, every console has that. Every console has monetary information. So, depending on the security, depending that they have and how the structure is about how that information is stored, or even if it is stored on your computer, on your console, or if you could even install a quote unquote a keylogger, that might be something that we have to worry about in the future. But for right now, the market in the hacker world is really not out there for attacking consoles. That's what I'm thinking. Like I said, I could be talking entirely out of my ass. Or partially out of my ass. I'm usually talking partially out of my ass.
I wondered about, and especially with the webcam deal, because you hear stories about people hacking into webcams and using that to spy on people, and that seems like a fairly common occurrence.
And I would think that that's probably a little more standard than like actually putting a virus that would either download or keylog or some kind of Trojan horse within your console. I would imagine that it's a more standard technology.
That requires them to get into Xbox Live, which is its own system.
Right. And Xbox Live is monitored like fuck.
Yeah.
At least we
hope so.
And I assume
PSN probably
same way.
similarly.
Well, maybe not so. Hackers took down
maybe
PSN.
After that initial batshit crazy hack.
No, it's always going to be an issue, no matter what. There's no such thing as an uncrackable system.
Oh, I never said that.
So it's hard to say. So anybody got anything else? Because it's 11:39.
I have a quick little news.
Okay.
Quick thing. first of all, apparently OnLive is still a thing.
Oh, I saw
It
that.
didn't
Yes.
go out of business.
Yeah.
That's surprising. But then they're putting up a new subscription. It's called Cloudlift, which allows people to access streaming versions of games. But what got me about it is that you can download the games that you own so that you have a version of it on your computer that you don't have to stream, and then you can access the streaming version from, different computers elsewhere. You're signed into your account. And that strikes me as something really, really great, because the reason I never bought anything off OnLive is the knowledge that, well, if not OnLive ever goes out of business, I lose all these games.
Right.
This seems like a real good step in the right direction.
It's a happy medium between streaming and owning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to watch that. Goalie, I'm sure, will already signing up for it as we speak.
Well, let's see what comes out. If it works, it works, and I'm happy with it. Great,
Is there any word about grandfathering in people that bought OnLive accounts or had OnLive accounts?
I have no idea.
I would think that would be a very nice thing for OnLive to do, is to reward loyalty. We dealt with your crappy service and got screwed over, but probably not.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we gotta head out because we got Happy Endings coming up in a few minutes. By the way, if you've never listened to Happy Endings, it is our after show where, believe it or not, we actually get more loose over there. So let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 253, recorded on March 5th, 2014. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. Feel free to contact us. We are very friendly people. The way to get a hold of us is gamehounds@gmail.com, or go to our website. I know the website looks pretty static, but yeah, you should go to it anyway. Make a comment in the most recent, which would be, I guess, the top selection is August 4th. It says August 4th, but that's where our most recent show gets posted to the top of that page. That's at gamehounds.net. Then, what else? Oh, there's a Facebook page, facebook.com/The GameHounds or GameHounds? I can't remember. Really?
Yep.
Which one?
Usually,
The GameHounds. Okay. Facebook. No, I think it's facebook.com GameHounds. Facebook.com/GameHounds. But if you go to Twitch, where we will be streaming on a frequent basis, it's The GameHounds. And also, there's our text line. You can also leave voicemail on that text line as well. And that line is
304-300-9889.
And we will see you all next week. We record on Wednesday, so we'll see you next Wednesday with more news, more commentary, more teenagers behaving badly. And we will talk to you next week. Good night, everyone.